Okay, to change your list, especially to move a large group like produce over to personal, we're going to make a couple of adjustments. I'll show you the easy ones first, and then how to just move that whole column of produce into the right spot. So to begin with, it's pretty easy to change or remove blank spaces or add new cells as you need to. So I'll use the paper plastic section over here. If you want to remove a space, like you're seeing here between aluminum foil and coffee filters, you're going to use your cursor and just left click and hold the left click button down and drag across to select the cell. And then you're going to right click with the mouse. You're going to hover over that cell, right click with the mouse to open up what's called the context menu. And from here, you're not going to select cut, you're going to select delete. And the reason is when you delete, when you select this, you have some options about what you want to have happen with your cells. And in this case, we only want to affect this very small column. We don't want to affect the whole worksheet. So we want to, in fact, shift the cells up. I'm going to select that, not left, but up. So what that means is when we cut out using the delete function, when we cut out these two cells, everything in just this column is going to shift up one. So watch that as I click OK. You'll see everything shifts up, and it doesn't affect any of the other columns to the left of it or to the right if you were doing this over here, say. So let's do that one more time. I'm going to select. I'm using, again, click with the mouse, then hold my left key and select the two cells together because you also want to eliminate the checkbox. Right click while I'm hovering over that, delete, and here in this case I'm going to shift cells up. And so that eliminates those extra spaces. Now if you need to add something, you want to add another slot. Let's go over here to canned, for instance. I want to add, let's say, a couple of blank spaces here. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to click, and then I'm going to hold my left mouse key down, select the cells, and now I'm going to right click again, and this time I'm going to select Insert, and this time I will select Shift Cells Down. So again, this means that just the cells below it below my selection are going to shift down. So you can see that. I'll do that one more time. We'll add another one. Insert, Shift Cells Down, click OK, and now I've got some extra space here. So if I want to add some blank lines here, an easy way to do that is to find a couple of blank lines. And again, you're going to want to copy both the checkbox and the cell next to it. So I'm going to hold the left key down, select both, right click, and in this case I'm going to hit copy. And you'll see the little dotted line letting you know it's going to copy. Pop that your cursor, just click on it to grab that cell, and then again right click, and in this case I'm going to go ahead and use paste. I'll just use that very first one, and it's going to paste it in. And I can do the same here. As long as this is selected, it'll keep pasting. And I've pasted a second option there. Now, one of the things that's nice about this worksheet that you have is that the author set this up so that it automatically understands catching the formatting. So you'll notice I didn't make any changes to the formatting, but this particular set of cells here has the gray background, whereas the one we copied from has the white background. So this is automatically set up to insert that nice color differentiation if that's important to you. So that's how you're going to insert and delete different cells to either extend or remove your column lengths. You're going to do it just within each column. Now to move a big section, so for instance you wanted produce to come over here, say where personal is, we're going to need a little bit more room because we can see that produce is a little bit longer than personal if you wanted to stick it here. So the easiest way I think to do that right here is we're going to take a few cells out. So I'm going to do that same function. I'm going to select the cells, delete, and I'm going to shift these cells up. And that's okay because in the long run we're going to move them all back down. By that I mean we've made a little bit of room, and down here at the bottom you can see we have some room, some space. Your original sheet, it looks like we added 2 spaces. We added 2 cells here, so I need to take 2 more off, at the bottom. So remember that I added a couple of spaces up here in canned. I'm going to come down here and take a couple out of pasta and rice. To do this, a fast way to move things up, if you don't want to do the insert or delete each time, another fast way to do this, I'll show you with the quinoa. Again, we're going to select the cells the same way. I'm just clicking and then I'm holding my left mouse key down and I'm dragging across the other cell I want to select. And now if you hover over the edge, the green border or whatever color your border is, if you hover over, you'll notice the plus sign changes to a plus sign with arrow points, and it's solid instead of a hollow plus sign. Once you see that plus sign, click your mouse, your left mouse, hold it, drag this up, and it'll say there's data already there. There isn't really data here, but you can go ahead and click OK. And you want to do the same thing here maybe with the rice. We're going to move that up. And it'll pop that message each time, unfortunately. And the last one. Okay, and there it made me a liar. All right, so we're also going to take out a few of these. You probably don't need this many blanks under pasta. So I'm going to select a whole batch of them. And again, I'm just doing the same thing. Hold that left key down, select all of those cells, let go. Then I'm going to right click, and I'm going to delete, shift cells up. When it's blank cells, it doesn't matter a whole lot. So we want to give ourselves a little bit of room in this case. The reason I, first of all, made those changes here is I wanted to see where is our very bottom line. And if you're printing this out, then I think that your bottom line right now, when you do the printout, it ends right here below row 50. So I'm going to remember that I don't want to go below row 50 when I'm making any changes. If I'm adding or subtracting any of the different categories, I want to make sure that once I'm done, nothing goes past row 58 here. I think I might have just been saying row 50. So one thing you can do is maybe put something over here like don't let columns go past row 58, just as a reminder when you're checking this and moving things around. All right, so to grab a large batch, I'm going to, let's see here, we're going to want to move produce over here where personal is. I don't think you necessarily want produce back, you don't want personal back where produce is, but just for the sake of speed to show you this, I'll put it there. And then you can make any necessary changes you want, however you want the order on yours. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start again by selecting the upper cell where the word produce starts, and holding that left key, I'm going to drag through the whole column here. And then I'm going to get that little plus sign with with all the arrows on it. I'm going to click with my left key and you'll see it changes to an arrow, and continue holding that left key. I'm going to drag the whole kit and caboodle over here, and it doesn't matter where it goes, just drag it out of your way for now. What that'll do is it'll keep everything in order. And I know it looks like we've changed the column size because columns S and T are not the same columns sizes as you have on the other side, but that's okay. When we move it back, it'll automatically adjust. Now I'm going to take the personal column here. I'm going to do the same thing. Click with my left mouse key, hold, drag through this column. Now I'm going to hover over any of the margins here. Now I wouldn't do it up here near the top because you see it's going to try to automatically change to the link to vertex. So you can do this by clicking over here on the right or left menu margin. Hold that left key down till you see the cursor and drag your little column over where you want it. And you can see it's automatically still holding all of that formatting. Now produce, as I said, looks like it's going to be a little long to stick in this spot. So I'm going to take a look down here and see if we can make a little bit more room. It does look like we can bring down pet and a couple of other things here. So I'm just going to take all of them, doing that same function, hover over the margin, and here I'm doing it near the bottom because I want to see where I'm going. So I'm going to left click and hold, drag these down so they're on no further than 58. Does that give me enough room for produce? Let's check it. We're going to click and hold with the left key. Select all of those items at once. Look for that arrowed plus sign. Click and hold. Drag it over. Oh, it just barely fits. Maybe we'll make a couple more changes here to kind of give it a little bit of extra room. Maybe we'll take off one of these cells. So again, I'm clicking, right click, delete. I'm going to shift, they're going to shift up, and that's okay. We're going to move them all back down one. That is the challenge when you take them out of the middle. And move it down one again. Now we're going to grab produce. Again, left click, hold, grab all the cells, move it, and there you go. Now it's moved over. You have a lot of room here in some of these rows or some of the columns, so you can certainly tighten up some of these things so that maybe you can move, say, plastic or the pet over a little bit, and then go ahead and give yourself a couple of extra spaces here under produce for anything you want to add, because it does look like you have quite a bit here. So for instance, under baby, do you need, that many blank cells? Probably not. I'd probably go ahead and delete these. Shift cells up. It just looks like nothing moved, but it did make them blank and shift blanks up. Here I'm going to go ahead and put crackers. I'm going to click and drag this where I want in that position. I'm going to do the same with dried fruits. Again, I'm going to get that message. Now I'm going to take a whole batch and drag them up here. All right, so you see you've got a lot more room. And now I'm going to go ahead and take out some of these. So again, I'm going to select how many I want to take out. I'm going to right click again, delete, shift the cells up. Now you'll see baby did move up, and you could do things like move pet over here out of the way. And now we can take paper and plastic, go all the way down through household. Again, I'm just doing that left, hold my left mouse down and selecting everything. Grabbing a hold of that margin, I'm going to drag it down to about 58. And now I've got some room here to add some blank cells, which I love that you've got these blank ones over here at Critical. It's super easy then to go ahead and select them, right click, copy, come to where I want to insert it, right click, and just use that paste button to stick some more items in there. And then of course, just to add any items, you certainly can just come right in and type directly in here. So hopefully that helps you. Let me know if you have any other questions after you take a look.